Reactive training systems.
In a video I posted recently, I made a point, as I often do, about the chest fall pattern in the squat and how that really relates almost always to weak quadriceps. The body knows that the quads are kind of turned on at maximum and aren't able to generate the torque required. So you shift some of the load to your hip extensors. Shift some of the load onto your hips. It puts your quads in a more advantageous position, and you're able to complete the movement. One of the questions that I got is whether or not I see any benefit, any advantage to training the good morning itself as a way to kind of counteract this good morning squat type of pattern. And in this case, I really don't. I don't see any improvements in this mechanic from improving somebody's hip extensor strength, because really the mechanic itself most often is a result of having hip extensors that are stronger than the quadriceps. So your body's already shifting the load onto the stronger muscle group. And you'll find that this is kind of a pattern with most weak muscle groups. The body is shifting the load toward a stronger muscle group. So making that even stronger is not really going to help us. I know it seems like improving your good morning, making that hip extension mechanic stronger would help you to extend the hips sooner, but that's not really what's going on. It's not that you're unable to extend the hips in time with your knee extension. It's that you're kind of moving your knees out of the way. You're unable to straighten the knees while keeping everything coordinated. So there's a shift the hips back, shift the knees back mechanic that happens, and that's loading your glutes, loading your hamstrings, loading your adductor group, using that to move the weight. In the meantime, you're putting your quads in a more advantageous position. So in that sense, I don't see a whole lot of benefit in training the good morning for that type of pattern. As with everything, though, your mileage may vary. If you try it and it seems to work well for you, then I would continue to work with it. But I don't think I would look for it to improve that pattern itself. I wouldn't look for it to improve the chest fall pattern. I would look to see if there's some sort of transfer to the competition squat. Now, let me give you a different example, a bench press example to highlight what I'm talking about here. Lots of lifters that I've coached will respond better to triceps heavy exercises. I'm talking about things like board presses, benching against bands, tricep extensions, and partial range of motions, things like that, slingshot work. Now, you would expect, hey, weak triceps, that's a thing, so probably the way it's going to manifest is in a weak lockout, right? That's the conventional powerlifting wisdom. But what I can tell you is I don't see that. When I look at a heavy bench from these lifters, their weak range of motion seems to be almost the same, if not identical to the weak range of motion for anyone else. So that's not outside the realm of possibility, just based on how the chest, shoulders, and triceps have to coordinate for a bench press to happen. But it's a little bit counterintuitive. If you look at somebody who's weak off the chest or near the chest, the tendency is to think that either the chest or the shoulders is driving that. And I would say that that's true a lot of times. But if you're training somebody and they're responding better to triceps exercises, then you continue to prescribe triceps exercises. And in the same sense, if you look at somebody's technique and see that, hey, they're exhibiting this chest fall pattern in the squat, but whenever I prescribe posterior chain work, they're getting better, then you continue to follow the trail of athlete response.
Reactive training systems.